Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rumble and Roar podcast. I'm your host, Lenoria, and I am going solo today, guys. I do not have a co-host, and I do not have a guest. What I'm doing is I'm going to dedicate this podcast here to my mom. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and I want to I want to wish every mother out there happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, and I hope that you will enjoy it to the fullest and that your kids will be nice and do something nice for you and your husbands and your loved ones. Well, guys, if you've lost a parent, you will share this day with me, the empty part of it, and you won't know this emptiness unless you have walked the walk. And I don't want to just dive into something negative and bad things, because this is not what this is about. I want to just reminisce and talk about my mom, if it's okay with you guys. And I would like for you to just sit back and listen to my stories and just let me talk about my mother. Okay, so let me just tell you about the do's and the don'ts. What my mother told me to do and the things she told me not to do. The do's were, she said, know that I love you. Know that I love you unconditionally. No one can tell you anything different, and I do know that. Be yourself. That's what she said. Love yourself. Do those things. Respect yourself. Listen to what I tell you. That wasn't a do, that was a better. I better do that one. And speak up for yourself. Anybody that knows me or know that I actually do those things. I will speak up for myself for sure. She wanted me to be kind. She said to be kind to other people. I was, most of the time, and I still am most of the time. I know that when I was younger, if they weren't kind to me, I treated them the way they treated me. I'm a little bit better now because I'm seasoned, guys. I'm seasoned. And she also said, do what makes you happy. That was a doozy, because it is so important to go through this journey in life and just be happy about what you're doing. It's a bad indictment to be just here and doing everything that you just have to do or you really don't want to do it. And it's not pleasurable at all. You're just doing it. You're not happy. She said be happy in what you do. At least try to anyway. So I try to. Own up to your mistakes. That's what she told me to do. Own up to my mistakes. And I do that. If I made a mistake. Oh, and the next one is if you did something wrong, say you're sorry. So I'm going to put those two together. Own up to your mistakes and say you're sorry. Don't be, because I know some people, I know y'all know some people, they will not say I'm sorry for the life of them. And they know they are wrong as 3 left feet. That don't make no sense. Just own up to it. It's your mistake. It's your purpose. It's whatever. Just say, okay, I'm sorry, and move it on. But to just be ignorant and not, that's sad. So let me tell you about some of the don'ts she told me not to. Don't be hard on yourself. Now, I try not to be hard on myself, guys. But I am a leader. I'm assertive. And I'm somewhat of a control freak. People that know me know everything I just said is true, but I have a good heart. So I try not to be hard on myself. And if I don't do something right and I know it could be done better, I am going to keep on until I get it. So, well, I'm still working on that, mama. Okay, she said, don't let anyone tell you you're not beautiful. If you grew up in my day and time, back in the, I'm not going to tell my age, back in the day when black was not beautiful to a lot of people. Black was not beautiful, especially a dark-skinned black. And they did not call you beautiful too quick. like they do today. All shades of brown is beautiful. It was back then. We knew it, but other people didn't know it. But now everybody knows it. Anyway, she said don't let anyone tell you you're not beautiful. Know you know that you're beautiful and your worth. That I do. Don't settle for anything, just anything. Because if you just settle for anything, you'll fall for everything. That's insane. And I don't settle for anything. People who know me know I won't settle for it, especially if it's some caca bull crap. No, not me. Not today. She said, don't talk too much. Listen. My dad told me that as well, but my mom said, don't talk too much. Just listen to what people have to say, because you will find out a lot about them if you let them talk and you not do so much talking. I fall short right there, y'all. I am a talker. I have to talk it out. I really do. I'm still working on it. As long as I'm not dead, I still have time. Okay, so another thing she said, do not be afraid to try. Just do it. You might be scared and you might not even be able to accomplish it. She said, but don't be afraid to not try it. Try it. So I've been doing, I do that. I've been doing that all my life. I'll just try it, because she said to do it. Just try. Don't dream your life, live your life. Now I'm doing that. I am doing that, and it feels good, and I love it. And that was something really, really good. She says, do not lie. I don't do that too quick. Not at all. I cannot stand a liar. Do not cheat, and do not steal. Those are some other, that's God's saying as well. Don't be selfish and stupid, not to say you're sorry, or to say, well, I actually said that already, or just when you know better, do better. That's pretty much what she was, trying to tell me. And I do. That's something I do. If I know better, I try to do better. Sometimes I fall short of it. But let's go down memory lane. Guys, I want to go down memory lane and just talk about some of the things. Now, if you're my age, there's a lot of things I could talk about. So I just chose a couple of them just to talk to you about them and just, dedicate this to my mother. The first thing, my mother had my back all the time. And when your mother show you that she has your back, it turns you into superwoman. That's why I wear a lot of hats. That's why I'm able to do a lot of things. That's why I am the lady that I am today, because my mom had my back. She had my back to the very end. I remember, I know this is small, but it was still, this is how this is where it started. I remember in school, well, she had all of her children's back, not just mine. I'm just saying me because I'm here. But in school, back in the day, guys, they can't pull this crap now because they might get shot. But back in the day, they sent a note home to your parents. This is when they first started paddling the kids in school. They said, they sent a note, and I was real young, so I'm not really sure, but I'm assuming this is how the letter went. We're doing something in school now. We need your permission to either paddle your child, or you let us know if you want us to paddle or no. And question, if no, question. I figured that there was a question behind it because my mother put something behind it. Of course, my mother circled no. And then she wrote on there, if my children, and I know she wrote this because she said it out loud, oh no, ain't nobody putting their hands on my kids. If they mess up, send them home to me and I'll check them, but no, you're not going to put your hands on them. So that's what she wrote, no, and send them home and I will make it right. So that's when I knew my mom had my back. It's like, no, I'm not just going to let any and everyone put their hands on you. Yes, it does take a village, but the village can't be hitting on you. Ain't gonna happen. So that was the first time. The second time, guys, this story is something, I'm gonna try and keep it short. The second time was we moved from Columbus to Atlanta. I was, let me see, what is it? A freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. I was a sophomore. And we moved here and I started school here. Didn't know anybody. Yes, I did. I met a girl named Barbara Brown, my best friend ever. And I'm jumping around because this is a long story. I'm gonna try to make it short. Barbara and I we were like this. And this one girl bullied me. Oh, she just bullied. I mean, she bullied me every single day. It seems like from the first day that I got there. And it was because her boyfriend was trying to hit up on me, was talking to me. And of course, I'm talking back. I had no idea that he was taken. I had no idea that she was dating him. I didn't know anything. I am new at this school. So she's rolling her eyes at me. She's at the lockers with 3 or 4 other girls, and they are, saying things about me. And when I walk past, they're looking and laughing. So I told Barbara about it. And when I told Barbara who the guy was that I was talking to, that's how I knew why she was doing what she was doing, because I had no idea. But Barbara said, "Girl, that's he dates her. And that's such and such, and she's very popular." And I was like, well, I had no idea, and she shouldn't be coming, doing me this way. She should go and check him. Long of the short, I went home and I would tell my mother every day, "Mom, it's this girl that keep laughing, keep saying stuff, keep picking, and she got a group of girls and they're just doing stuff, and And my mother was like, "Don't you take your ass up there fighting." Because that's the school that I came from, that's all I did. All the time. Fight, fight, fight. She was like, "Don't bring your butt up here fighting." And I was like, "Mom, she is doing this, she's doing that." And every day I would walk past her locker. I had to get to the classes. And she's there with 3 other people, they're bullies. And they would laugh and, do things. Let me just make this story short because it's so lengthy. But anyway, I came home another day and I told my cousin, Adrienne, I said, "Adrienne," I said, "this girl is off the chain. Every time I pass her or her friends, they're laughing at me. They're talking about me. They're pointing at me, and they're just bullying me. They haven't said anything directly yet to me, but they're like, just really picking at me." And so Adrienne was like, I told her name, and she was like, "Oh, I know her." And now Adrienne had already graduated. However, I guess she was like a freshman and Adrienne was probably a senior. However, she had graduated, but she said, "I know her." She said, "You want me to go up there and take care of it?" And I said, "Well, no, you don't have to do that. I can fight for myself. The fighting part is not it. Mama told me I better not come up here doing no fighting, and I better listen, and I better not come up here with no mess. And I got to do what Mom said, because I don't need, her on me." And she said, "Well, I'm just letting you know, if you want me to take care of it, handle it, I will." I said, No. I'm going to have to handle my own things, because what I'm going to do, run to you every time? No, I got to, we live here now, so I got to, do for myself. So let me make this story short, guys. I will never forget it. It's still like yesterday. And I've been out of school a whole bunch of years. I was in the cafeteria. Fights in the cafeteria. That's all I need to say. Guys, I'm sitting there. With another girl that I had met, because see, I'm new. My brother and I, we were new at the school. We're sitting there on the end, like if this was the cafeteria, there are circle tables, and we're here, and everybody's walking around this way trying to get that way to put their trays up and do whatever. But I'm sitting right there on the end. I'm here with my back against the back part, and a girl named Tammy, I remember her name. The girl named Tammy was sitting here, and we both had the same last name, so we were acting like we were sisters and stuff. We were just so happy that we were Andrews, but we didn't know, we weren't related. However, next thing you know, guys, everybody, Tammy looked up, And I'm looking around at everybody in the cafeteria, and it seems like everybody just got real quiet and looked over there. So this person is standing over me right here, and I'm with my back like this. She's standing over me with her tray, and I looked back like this, and I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, I guess I'm gonna get my ass whooped from my mother, because I'd be damned if I'm gonna sit here and let this girl punk me in front of all of this cafeteria. Ain't gonna happen. No, I got to stay at this school, and I got to go ahead and do what I need to do so they can know not to keep doing this. Anyway, she stood over me and holding her tray and her goons with her, and she goes, "You got a problem?" Right then, I had to make a decision. And I did. I made a decision to go ahead and get my ass beat by my mother. Okay, so I turned around and I looked at everybody in the whole, people are talking in the lunchroom. Everybody just got quiet. It seemed like it was a silent, And I looked at her and I was like, if I do, you help me solve it. I jumped up, grabbed my tray, and I hit her ass in the head with it. And we are fighting, slipped up in milk, both of us, and we are just duking it out. Rolling in milk, tearing asses on the cafeteria floor. I'm good, because this is what we've done it so much down in Columbus. It was nothing but another day of fighting for me. Long story short, let's make this short. My mother used to work in the cafeteria at the school. When I tell you, I was like, oh my gosh, my mom is going to just come in here and tear me up. They took us both to the office. I'm sitting there, guys. I'm sitting there. I'm over here. She's over here. I can hear her. We didn't have no cell phones then, but she was on a rotary phone talking to her mother, and her mother must have been asking her stuff like, well, do you have scratches on your face and this, that, and the other, because I heard her saying, no, I don't have no marks, at least I don't know, I don't see any, and this, that, and the third. And I'm over there like this, y'all. Like this, with my head down, because I knew that as soon as my mother come in, because she told me over and over and over and over, do not fight. You just walk away. You don't have no reason to hit no one unless they hit you. And I did the hitting first. So I was like, oh my gosh. Have my head down like this. And I'm watching people. We're in the principal's office. I'm watching people walk past, and I'm looking down at the shoes. I wouldn't even pick my head up. I'm like, I just knew that I was just about to get a whooping from my mother. So everything else didn't really matter to me. Only what my mother thought. So I'm sitting there watching people, kids walk by, principals walk by, teachers walk by. Guys, I saw these white shoes, cafeteria shoes. They were my mother's shoes. And I did like this. I said, oh. When I saw her shoes, my heart just went boom, boom, because I thought she was just going to come in there and embarrass me in front of everyone, or, whatever. I just thought she was going to give it to me because she's stressed. Don't do this, don't do that, and I did it anyway. How about my mother walked past me, and she went into the office where the principal was. Then she comes back out. I got my head down. When she stood in front of me, I looked up at her like this. And I'm looking at my mom, and she's standing over me. Oh my gosh. And I was like, before I could say anything, guys, before I could say, Mom, I've been trying to tell you, Mom, this, Mom, that, I didn't even get to open my mouth. My mother stood over me, and I looked at her like, please, Lord, don't let her embarrass me. Don't let her hit me. Don't let her do stuff. I'm new at this school. Please, please, please. My mother, she said, are you okay? And I said, yes. And I didn't even have to say, Mom, she started it, Mom, whatever. She said, so that's the one you got to fighting with? She was pointing at the other girl because she was in that waiting area with me. And I said, yes, that's the one I've been telling you about. She said, well, that's right. Defend yourself. That's what you do. If somebody hit you, you hit them back. You ain't coming up here to be a punching bag for nobody. When she said that, guys, that day I knew I could be anything, because no matter how much she stressed, no matter how much she put that fear in me that I'm gonna beat your butt, no matter what, she still had my back. It's not like, no. Now, even when we got home, she was like, now, what happened? I explained, but she had my back right there. She didn't let nobody see her just, making me feel any kind of way. She was like, that's right. Defend yourself. Don't let nobody do this. I was like, yeah. Woo. I was so happy, but I'm not going to go more into it. But that's another thing that my mother did to show me, I got you. I'm your mother. I got your back, and don't worry about a thing. So that was another story. Here is something. My mother, she just had me. She had me all the time. There are some people out there that mothers don't have them. So, and I'm stressing this because I do know some people who have it really hard. After that, I was constantly doing things, always doing stuff, staying in stuff, and she still had me no matter what. Okay, it was graduation time. I'm 18 years old. I got married. I was dating a guy and married him right after high school, right after high school. And she was like, Nora, don't do it. Don't do it. She didn't care for the guy, didn't want me to do it. I did it anyway. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. She was right. I messed up. Like she said, I should have never married him. Should have never been with him. Now, the second guy was the husband that I'm with now. We've been together we've been married 30 years. We've been together about 31 years. However, it was like 27 years before my mother passed. My mother passed at our 27th year. But she really loved Danny. They actually talked on the phone more than she and I did. So I know for certain that she approved of him, she loved him, and so that worked out. This is when, my mother started getting old, guys. My mother started getting older, and she was getting dementia. She was starting to forget a lot of things. She was getting worse and worse. My mother was married to someone that the family did not approve of, and he was just Satan's son. And we tried to stay away as much as we possibly could. However, when she started getting really, really bad, it was like, okay, we had to start coming around because I didn't want my mother to forget me. However, when the dementia started getting like to where she was really repeating herself and really thinking about people, when you say something, she could not remember their names. Coronavirus struck, guys. Coronavirus came in, and I was really afraid for my mom because the person she was married to didn't really know how to care for her, and we didn't go over much because I really love my freedom. Freedom is so good. I love the air. I love my space. And I love my home. And I wanted to come to my home every day. And I knew if I kept fooling around, with him, I would catch a charge and I would be locked up, and all that stuff that I just said I loved would have been taken away from me. So I didn't go around him that much until later. Mom started getting, just bad. Couldn't remember a lot. So what I started doing, I was like, okay, I have to make sure she remembers me and not forget. So I need to start going more around. And when I did, my mother would not go anywhere without him, anywhere. And so I would take her out every Sunday, and she looked forward to it every Sunday. And of course he had to tag along because she was not going to go without him. We would go out to eat. She looked forward to it. And she was just, she was just very happy, my mother started getting just really just old, guys. She started getting old, and she, I remember my sister calling me over to the house, and she was like, Nora, mom's been asleep a long time, and she don't take naps this long. And I said, well, I'm on my way. I went over there, and my mother was laying across the bed, and I knew she was alive because she was, her hand was twitching, like jumping, and, in a deep, good sleep. And I said, well, Lynn, maybe she's just tired. She's tired, so just let her sleep. And Lynn was like, okay. So we left. The next day, my mother fell in the kitchen, and she couldn't get up, and the person that was with her could not get her up. So my son and my family went over there. My son was trying to get her up, but she had hit her head. And because she hit her head, we called the ambulance, and they came. And they took my mother to the hospital. And when she was there for maybe about 2 weeks. That first week, we would talk back and forth. Of course, we could not see her, guys. It was, Corona. And that first week when she got there, it was so many people passing away. They were, like hundreds of people a day, all over the world, passing away. And I was like just really scared for my mom. But by the second week, the first week, by the end of the first week, she caught coronavirus. And she was just, she was just hooked up to a lot of things, the machine. And I'm going to try to just make this, I'm going to try my best to make this as fast as I can, because this is not good for me to it just makes me feel crappy when I talk about it. But by the second week, I remember the nurse calling my sister and saying, you guys need to say your goodbyes, because we don't think that she's going to be here by the end of the night. That was a very trying time in my life. I don't think that no one could be, is, or even can get themselves ready or equipped to say goodbye to someone over Zoom. It's just a very hard thing. I want to talk to the people who have lost a parent, a mother, because you share that empty space. You know exactly that feeling. Last year, I was in such a dark space. It was the first year that my mind actually wrapped around, I guess, that my mother was not here. The first year she passed, my son gave me a Mother's Day gift, and I was in a dump. I was just numb. I was in a dump. However, I wasn't talking to anyone because I was just numb. And he did like he do every year. He buy me a gift. He buy me a card, and flowers. I remember him coming with his bag, and he gave it to me, and I was just out of it, guys. Rightfully so. I looked inside of there, and he had me some black house shoes, some Uggs, and then he had a beautiful card. He and my husband they always pick out the best cards. And I did not read the card because I just was numb. I saw the Uggs, and I gave him a hug, and I said, thank you, baby. And I got ready to go back to my room to lay down. He said, Mom, you didn't even look at the card. Read the card. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, let me read it. So I pulled the card from the bottom of the bag, and I read it, and before I could read it, I pulled it and I looked, and it was a sonogram of my expected grandbaby. They were his woman was well, my daughter-in-law was expecting, and I think she was like 3 or 4 months at the time. And when I looked at the sonogram, I looked up at him, and I had this big smile, like, oh my gosh, I had forgotten everything, and I felt really good. And I said, I'm gonna be a grandma? And he said yes. And I was like, oh my gosh. I started crying, feeling really good. I ran over to Danny and showed Danny, and it wasn't as bad as it was a couple of hours before he showed me the sonogram. So, and I was so blissfully happy, you know, that I was going to be a grandmother. The day went by, and Mother's Day passed, and I was just okay. Last year, guys, I went through something that I can't even explain it. And I was asking God, what is this? What's going on? Please help me shake this. It can't be this bad. I was so numb and so out of it. I'm trying to find the words. I was lost. I was seriously lost. I was depressed, and I couldn't shake it. I couldn't think. I did not want to lay down. I did not want to get up. I did not want to watch TV. I did not want to talk to anyone. I did not want to be. It was terrible. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. I went into my prayer area, and I was like, Lord, now you know this is too much. Take it off of me, please. I can't shake this feeling, and this is like none other. It wasn't a pain. It was a loss. It was a lost feeling in my brain, my head. It was, I can't explain it. However, it was just a terrible, terrible feeling. And I actually, like days before Mother's Day, I start feeling a certain way, and I'm starting to feel that way again. It's not full force. It comes full force on that day. And the ironic thing is so crazy. Right after Mother's Day passed, I'm good. It just seems like that day, which is crazy because I'm very strong, and I know better that it's just a paganist holiday anyway. It's just something that everybody put together to enjoy, to celebrate Mom. Mother's Day is every day. So I don't know. I'm strong. I should have been able to just shake it, but I don't know. Inner conscious, whatever, I don't know. But it was just really heavy-laden bad on me. It was a blanket of, you're not here. Okay, I'm starting to feel it again. And someone said, Nora, talk about it. Try to talk about it. If you talk about it, you might feel a little better. I was like, but I really don't want to talk. And I am a talker. Now, that's when you have to worry about me, when I don't want to talk. And I just didn't. So I'm giving this a chance, and it is better. It is better that I am talking about it, and I'm able to talk about it. So it's better. I'm able to talk about it. But let me see. I'm trying to think, guys. The worst part to me was, what's really bad is, after my mother passed, everybody, it's 6 of us, guys, everybody kept saying, I dreamt about Mom last night. I dreamt about Mom. Even my cousins, they were like, yeah, I dreamt about your mom last night. And I'm like, what in the world? I had not dreamt about my mother, and a couple of months have gone by. I mean, I was like, this is crazy. I have not seen my mother in my dreams. I have not talked to her. And I was like, she must be mad at me. I said, what did I do? I was like, Mom, come to me in my dreams like you're coming to everyone else. And then I was like, Lord, what is this? What, I'm going crazy here. So I talked to my sister Rita, and I was like, you talk to Mom a lot? She said, girl, almost every night. Me and Mom, you know, I see her here, and everybody. So I was like, I never talk to Mom. She doesn't come in my dream. She said, oh, she will. Don't worry about it. She will. And she has not, well, she has now, but it took a long time, and it just bothered me because I thought maybe I did something that I didn't know about. But I guess they come when you can handle it, because I am, and I did take it really, really hard. So finally, my mother did come to me in my dream, and I was really happy about it. But it was like one time, and I heard her voice, and I knew it was her, but it wasn't like everybody else was saying. I saw her, and she did this and did that. It wasn't. It was just a, you know, short. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just feel I wanted more. I wanted more. So you're not gonna believe this, guys, but it is the truth. I remember saying, Lord, please let Mom come and just let me know she's okay. I know for certain she's in heaven, because and I'm sure everybody say this, but y'all can say what you want. I know for certain my mother is in heaven. She was not a bad woman. She was good to everyone. And I was like, Lord, just let her come and let me see her, let me know it's her, and make it real. And I just want to know she's okay. Nothing. Y'all, I was outside in my backyard with my husband. Beautiful day. We're sitting there talking. I had my back this way. My husband was standing I was standing over here, you know, and my husband was here looking at me, and I'm just talking. And we were talking about something I don't know what we were talking about. It's been a while, but guys, a red bird came and hit me in my side. The side of my right here on the side, my stomach, my side area. The bird hit me so hard. I was like, I was like, oh my gosh. And I looked at my husband. The bird flew off. And I looked at my husband. I was like, what was that? It hit me so hard, y'all. It felt like somebody bowed me, like boom, like a serious bow. And I'm sitting there holding my side, and I was like, what the world? So I followed where the bird, where it went, because I didn't know if it was a bird, if it was I don't know what it was, but I did see where it went. So I went around my dog's cage to the other side of the cage and saw the red bird on the ground. The bird, guys, looked up at me. It was dying. It was dying, but the bird was leaning over like this, y'all, on the side, and the bird and I caught eyes, and I'm looking at the bird like, what in the world? I'm still crazy about the bird hit me. So I'm looking at the bird, and the bird wing did like this, like it was saying hi. It was going up and down like this, and that's probably a natural reaction of a bird that's getting ready to pass away or whatever. And I was like, Danny, look. The bird was staring me in my eyes, and I'm looking at it with sympathy like, oh my gosh, why is it dying? And Danny said that bird probably done ate something and or the wrong thing or whatever. I didn't believe that. Birds don't pretty much eat the wrong things. At least my brain didn't think that they do. God feeds bird every day. They know what to eat. I don't know why this bird was dying. However, one thing I do know is that birds don't run up to you. Birds run away. They well, not run. Birds fly away from you, you know. But this bird flew into my body, hit me hard enough to make me feel like somebody was like not a fist, but a bow. And I'm like, okay. So I'm watching this bird, eye contact like this, looking at me, and then the wing is doing this, like saying hello or whatever. And I'm crying because I'm like, what in the, it was just crazy. And so it finally passed away. I did not stand there for a long, long time to watch it take its last breath because I just couldn't. I was freaked out about it. But that was the weirdest thing to me. So, of course, I had to go to Google. I went online and I Googled red birds. It was a cardinal. I've been looking for the pictures, guys, because I did take a picture of it. I did come back out and took a picture, and I can't find it because I really want to share it. It was on my old computer, but I'm gonna still try to find it before we air this, and hopefully I could show it. But I Googled red birds, cardinals. I actually Googled a couple of birds, but and read about them, but I specifically did red birds, cardinal, because that's exactly what it was. Red birds represent heaven. You know, it's a heavenly, and anytime you're graced with a red bird around you, or a red bird fly past you, or you see a red bird, anything that has to do with a cardinal or a red bird is a good sign. When I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to take that as my mother was letting me know. Girl, I'm good. And you need to stop all of that crying. Stop all of that crying because I'm okay. Because it had to be my mom for a bird to run into me. But the perplexed part about it that I can't understand is, why did the bird died. That red bird, you know, it died, and I don't know why. And I did Google that as well, but it didn't say anything. It just kept saying, red birds, cardinals are very good. No matter how you see them, when you see them, what, they are heavenly. So I just took it as it was a good thing. Then, you guys, the other day, which was April 22nd, 2024. This was the weirdest thing, but it made me feel so good. Oh my gosh. I was in the kitchen. I was cooking dinner. I made some collard greens, some cornbread, some cube steak and onions, and rice and gravy. And I made a banana pudding. As I was frying the cube steak and onions, I could smell my mother. I said, okay, now I done freaked out. I'm something is going on. I'm turning over the cube steak. The refrigerator is here. My stove is here. And it was thick, guys, in the air. And I was like, wait a minute. Because sometimes when I'm feeling down or bad or whatever, I will wear some of my mother's clothes to bed so I can smell her and feel close to her. So I was like, wait a minute, do I have anything on? I'm doing like this, smelling my clothes, trying to see if I had anything on of Mom's. I know I didn't sleep in anything. And then I'm looking down, I'm looking around, I was like, I'm tripping. I'm really tripping. So the smell got stronger. And I'm standing there like, my mother is here. She is here. And something kept making me look at the refrigerator, looking at the refrigerator. I just believed that she was standing next to the refrigerator watching me cook that cube steak and onions, because she used to cook that and everybody loved it. And she was probably saying, look at Nora trying to be me. Go ahead, girl. But this is when I knew it was real, guys. My son came in the kitchen he looked at me, and as he was walking, he was just walking, and next thing you know, I looked up at him, and I stopped what I looked at him, and he said, I said, what do you smell? He said, Grandma. I said, Lord, guys, that was crazy to me to smell my mother like that. And if he had not come in that room, I probably would have thought that, okay, I'm tripping, or I want my mother so bad, or whatever. I probably would have thought that it was just me thinking it. When he walked through that, my mother's smell, and we smelled it strong through the aroma of my food. He said, Mom, that's Grandma. I said, yes, it is. Guys, I'm here to tell people who has lost their mothers and feel a certain way, know that it gets easier. I'm not sure if it gets better, because it still hasn't gotten better for me. And I don't understand why it hasn't, because I still go through stuff. The reason I don't understand, I'm not stupid. I know it's death, but I was okay with my mother passing, because instead of being angry, I thank God. I said, thank you, Lord, that you allowed all of us. All of her children were over 50. He did not take my mother. So I had to be grateful and thankful for that, instead of selfish, like, why did you take her? Why? She was starting to forget a lot. She was just wasn't herself. And so when she did pass, it was bittersweet. You know, she didn't have to worry about not ever knowing us, or going through the stages and the other things that come with dementia, Alzheimer's, and it gets worse and worse and worse. She didn't have to worry about all of that. So I was glad about it. But I'm losing my train of thought, guys, because this is something. I don't know why it's still so hard. I thought that because I accepted it and I was okay with it, I wasn't angry with God, I wasn't angry with the world or nothing, anything. So I'm wondering why, when Mother's Day come around, I feel still so just numb, and I want it to go away, and it won't. But I just like for the day to come and go. I think I'll be better this year. I'm speaking it into existence, because that's what I want. But nevertheless, I don't want to be crying on here. But for everyone who has lost their mother, we share a whole. You are not alone. And just know that she loved you. She still does. And I'm sure she's still there for you in the heavenly realms, and helping you actually on a better level. So with that said, guys, I hope I didn't just ruin your day. I just wanted to talk about my mom. I love and miss her so much. But I just wanted to say happy Mother's Day, and thank you for allowing me to tell my mom's stories. And I hope I didn't bore you. I hope I didn't make you sad. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. And with that said, feel the rumble and listen to the roar, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.